My boyfriend, 27M, refuses to talk about marriage or the future in general with me, 27F. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 8 years, since we were both 19 in college, and we moved in together about 2.5 years ago. We'd occasionally discuss getting married someday and having kids, and it seemed like we both wanted the same things in that regard. Recently, since we've been living together, every time I try to ask him anything about the future, even like planning how to get to our friend's wedding a month from now, he refuses to answer anything and just says he doesn't want to talk about it right now. I asked him a couple weeks ago if he wanted to get married and he just asked me the same question back, and when I said yes, he just went silent for a while and then said he didn't want to talk about it right now. I feel like he's constantly shoving me away and I'm feeling scared that now that he's faced with the actual threat of commitment, his real feelings are showing, and that he was just lying to me before. I don't know what to do at this point and could use some advice. Too long didn't read. Boyfriend won't talk about the future anymore and I'm frustrated. Edit, thanks to everyone for the advice. I'm going to put my foot down tomorrow morning, before he's had time to get bogged down by anything from the day, and get either some clear answers, or get an agreed to specific time to discuss marriage and our future goals as a couple. Edit number 2, I appreciate you all trying to stand up for me, but I'd like if you'd stop calling him an asshole, etc. He's a genuinely lovely guy and we get along great as a team and have for the majority of our relationship. It's just this area where there's a big problem that I'm trying to get sorted out. Thanks. It would appear, from the information contained in your post, that he doesn't wish to marry you. I would hope that this fact would inform your plans for your future. I believe the message here is stop wasting your time. I agree that one day you'll find that you've moved on to someone who values you and is excited to be with you, and you will be very pleased. If you have to push him over these important things, you'll either continue to be hurt/disappointed or he will marry you and you will wonder somewhere in your head if he only finally married you now just because he was comfortable and didn't want to lose you and start over his life. I was with someone for 13 years, BF/GF for the first 10 years. He also would dismiss marriage talk. Then he told me he finds it antiquated. He did the same thing to me in the very beginning about putting a title of BF/GF on us. Long story short, I ended up leaving. I'm with someone who truly cherishes me now. Was I afraid? Yes. Did it hurt? Yes. But it was worth it. I'm pleased to hear that you have had this experience. I left my partner of 9 years last year despite the fact we had bought a house together, because he refused to discuss marriage and I felt that I had been held back by his refusal to move the relationship forwards. I'm still in very early days, and still scared of the future, so it's lovely to hear a positive experience of somebody who left and it worked out for! I was in your shoes a few years ago. In my case, my ex kept avoiding the topic of kids and marriage. Until one day he told me the truth and said he never wanted either. He just wanted me to stay. We were together at that point for about 5 years. I left. You should too. Don't waste any more time. He says he doesn't want to talk about it right now, and yet you end up never talking about it. It sounds like he's just using that line as an excuse to shut down. It sounds like he has some major hang-ups over the idea of commitment, or is knowingly leading you on with no end. You are both nearing 30 and have been together for 8 years. I don't see this going well. Cut your losses and go explore other people. I think you'll be pleased. If you do want to try working with him, the next time he says that, say when do you want to talk about it then? And set a time to talk about it. Don't keep letting him get away with dismissing you. Okay, so when do you want to talk about it? Honey, if I can't plan for a future with you in it, I'm gonna have to start planning for a future without you. Is that what you want? My relationship feels comfortable. I'm torn between staying because he's such a great guy and good boyfriend versus the relationship might be holding me back. I don't know if it's possible or even right to try to encourage him to change, or if our relationship is doomed. We've been together about 4.5 years, in our 20s. We're comfortable, life is mundane. These days when I think about the rest of my life I really don't know what to think. I'm scared of kidding myself and wasting his time and mine, but I want us to last and I'm not ready to give up. On one hand I have a really great guy who, treats me well, appreciates me, shares the same values, has similar goals, I know for sure that he would be such a good dad, and we'd be a great team, he is totally loyal and dedicated to me, I can fully trust him, he gets on great with my family and I with his, he fully accepts me mentally and physically, so I can be my totally natural self. Even when that's gross. He makes me feel good about myself, that I'm wanted, loved and accepted. On the other hand, and what is incredibly frustrating as I truly appreciate how lucky I am for all of the above, I've been lacking the attraction for a long while. I don't feel in love, there's never butterflies or real excitement. I'm starting to feel the relationship holds me back in some ways. He's extremely laid back, I'm laid back too, but I need balance. I need more input / enthusiasm / assertiveness / initiative / decisiveness. Probably a big factor in the attraction thing. Initiating and deciding everything makes it feel everything is for my sake, never for his / ours. I want his input and some interest and enthusiasm from him. Straining and no fun. Now I'll go through phases of feeling pushy and uptight because things need done. Or I'm lazy and demotivated. I've become less decisive / motivated / enthusiastic. I feel as if every time I suggest something all I get is a if you want, it's up to you. I don't mind / care, which kills my enthusiasm to the point where I don't even want to anymore. In my ideal world I'd also love someone to use their initiative and plan something just occasionally. Or just say something like let's go to the beach. Let's go sledging. I booked us a table for tonight. Literally anything big or small would be so appreciated. I've talked about all this. He listens, agrees, but inputs very little, says he has nothing to say, then there might be tiny short-term changes but it doesn't last. He's not naturally like this, so would I be wrong to keep bringing this up, pushing him and trying to change it? Overall I just want to feel as if there's two people in my relationship. Is it doomed or is there a chance we can work this out? TL. Doctor. My boyfriend is great guy who treats me well, but I feel that his extremely laid back and indecisive personality might be impacting my attraction and also holding me back. I wish we could balance each other out and motivate each other. Is it wrong to try to change this / are we doomed? Short answer, definitely not doomed. Longer answer, life in long-term committed relationships is mundane, compared to the initial honeymoon excitement. Or at least will naturally be, unless you and your so both commit to breaking the natural comfortable rhythm. I'm glad to read you have tried bringing these things up, and that he's receptive, at least in the short term. This is honestly huge. I'd say you have a few options. A. Get real specific with requests, understanding that he may only be able to provide a compromise. A need to write down reminders for himself to plan something spontaneous every week / month. I don't think it's wrong to keep bringing it up, particularly if you're balancing the requests / criticisms with a hearty amount of positive interactions. B. Work on appreciating what you have. As so many commenters have noted, you have a good thing going. Taking actual time to focus on gratitude for your partner, and telling him these things, if you're not already, helps the areas he's lacking to seem less important. At the end of the day, it's up to you. But I think it's really important to remember that every relationship has its struggles. It's a matter of which struggles you're willing to take on, and with whom. Being in love isn't butterflies or real excitement, it's that you described in the first half of your post. Lust is only fun for a while, and then it wears off or causes issues. As for the assertive thing, I feel you. Think you should talk to him about this again, and also give him specific examples of what you would like him to do. Bring up that he was doing it and show curiosity as to why that stopped, and suggest working together to figure out how doing those things can come easier to him. Overall I think you have a great catch. Someone else who is assertive will have other issues as well. No one is 100% perfect, and this one sounds like he can change with work. Oh man, as I was reading her post I kept thinking this is as close to perfect as you're gonna get. And how so many people struggle and fight all their lives to find or achieve the positive things she listed about her partner. You said the rest of it perfectly. I'm just envious of Op is all. I agree with others that it sounds like you've got a great guy, but I also think it's unfair to downplay the second half of your post. If you haven't already, I recommend reading The Mental Load, a comic you can find online. This is heavily geared towards the sharing of home life responsibilities, but I think it's just as important in the fun part of your relationship too. It absolutely blows to be the one making all the plans, trying to keep things exciting, trying to find new things to connect on. It's real work, and should be shared by two people. I'm not saying it's worth ending things over, by any stretch. Only you can decide your limits. I am saying that it might be time to have a more serious talk about what you need and see if it sticks. As someone who has been there, and is now with someone who puts in just as much effort towards our relationship in that way, I just want you to know it is possible, and it is important. Good luck. I broke up a relationship that had all things you mentioned but no excitement or butterflies. I was young and naive, led by how media portrays romance. Now in my 30s, I know better than that. The 9 things you mentioned are the hardest to find in someone, let alone all of them combined. I am married to the same kind of guy and have the same feelings. However, as you become older, he'll be there for you. No, it's hard to think long term. My husband is not a decision maker, I've come to terms with it. I am super spontaneous and he will follow along. After being with my dad when he died of cancer, it convinced me even more that I want someone who will sit by my side if I am ever in that position. We've been together for 34 years. Sounds like you have a winner. GF, 29F, broke up with me, 34M, because she longs for hours-long conversations about emotions that she had with ex every night when they were dating. Help me understand what this sort of conversation looks like. Too long didn't read. XGF was very into therapy and probing/analyzing her emotions. I'm wildly ignorant on this topic, but we dated for such a short time before she ended it that I didn't manage to figure out what this sort of work entails and would love some clarification. Just to be clear, I'm not looking for advice on what to do now or whether having conversations like these or viewing them as vital is healthy or not. I'm just trying to understand what a conversation like this looks like and was hoping someone here could help fill in the blanks. This feels truly foreign to me. She and her ex met at a workshop about understanding emotions put on by a psychiatrist. She has also been in therapy for many years and the book on her nightstand is on this subject as well. She's very invested in doing this psychological work of figuring out exactly what she's feeling and why. She said that though there were other aspects of the ex that were a problem, that relationship taught her that this is something she really wants in her life, a partner with whom she has these in-depth discussions. But when I, who has had no experience in any of this and is very emotionally reserved typically, heard this, I just plain didn't understand and I still don't. And unfortunately now it's too late to ask her for more details. What is there on an emotional level to discuss for hours each day? I'm serious when I say that I'm not able to imagine it. Please send me an outline of such a conversation. Not just so I can better understand her decision but also because I wonder if I'm missing out on something important and if this will rear its head in future relationships as well. I tried talking to her about her childhood, about hopes and fears and so on, but it seems that I wasn't close to what she was after. Thanks for the help.